Love and light, everyone. My name is Reverend Dixon, healing minister, Reiki master, holistic health practitioner, chakra therapist, all that good stuff. I've been in practice for over 8 years, and I'm here to talk to you today about the healing arts. The healing arts are much more than a way to help remove blockages, pains, ailments, all that good stuff. It's a way for you to develop a common connection with Source. It's a way for you to break the mold of your current way of thinking or doing. And it's really a way for you to learn how to grow and expand from within. The healing arts are not only a way to transcend yourself, but it's a way of transcending your way of thinking, your way of doing, and your way of being. It's a way to grow from within. It's a way to conjure up all of that good love and light energy and really just learn how to share it with every single person out there. To grasp at the essence of Source and to become one with all. To me, the healing arts are a way to shape who you are as an individual, what you are at the core, and where you're going in life in a positive and uplifting way that can be of benefit to your friends and your family as well. A common question that I ask a lot of students, first off, right off the bat, is why do you want to learn the healing arts? Why? The common answer a lot of people give is to just heal themselves and others, which is all great. But I challenge you to add something to this answer. To seek a relationship with Source. And no, I'm not talking about God, I'm talking about Source, universal life energy. But I'll get back to that. When I speak of Source, I refer to the sole entity entirely responsible for the creation of all. Because it is all. Well, all that we know anyway. Source has many emanations which could easily be referred to by a lot of different names and characters. How you choose to refer to this source of love and light energy is completely up to you and your personal set of beliefs. I'm not here to challenge that. The goal is not to make a believer out of you. The goal is to try to grant this matter a lot more depth than what people previously thought was existed on a lot of different levels. The source of creation is the prime emanation for healing. After all, source is simply what it is, and it will always be what it is. So I pose a question to you at first as a means to understand. Why do you want to learn the healing arts? Why do you want to learn the healing arts? Not why everyone else wants to learn the healing arts. That's not my goal. My goal is to figure out why you, yourself, want to learn the healing arts. Not to confuse people by simply curtailing the original answers, but I want to help them understand their answers a lot more in depth. What I found is that these answers all seem to point to one singular thing: the pursuit of something greater than themselves that they feel called to answer to. In my honest opinion, this is where every student in any form of healing needs to place their focus, especially when it comes to healing. A power greater than yourself is a very marvelous thing. I mean, let's just take a look at that from another perspective. You have you, you have your friends, you have your family, you have everyone on the outside of you, and then you have everything that's on the inside of you. And then if you look inside with a microscope, you'll find a cell. And within that cell is an entire universe that's completely different than anything you've ever seen before. That's the wonder of this particular facet of existence that we live in. Now, the simple utterance of such a concept could be a little hard to grasp, Uh, but let it sink in for a minute. When we learn how to heal others, we also recognize and acknowledge ourselves as being in need of healing the most. We accept that we need healing the most. I, as a healer, need healing more than the average Joe, simply because I'm on that path. Why else would I be on that path? Why else would I choose to acknowledge the healing arts as a facet of life? Why else would I take myself out of my happy little existence and change every single thing about myself to try to better myself, to try to improve my ki, my chi, my aura, my strength spiritually, if I wasn't seeking something else within? If I wasn't trying to really dig deep and grab a hold of every single facet of my life that may not necessarily be in perfect alignment with my goals? A power greater than yourself. Now, I'm not talking about God, so to speak. I'm not even talking about a deity, so to speak. I'm talking about universal life energy. So let's start there. What is universal life energy? Universal life energy is the aspect and essence that is all. In essence, and I use that word a lot, is source. So why fight it? Why try to trick or troll or dissuade yourself from any other way of thinking aside from that? Now, once again, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm simply making a point. And after I've made that point, I'll move on. We understand how healing works, and thus recognize issues and complaints that can be healed at their core. We're able to look inside of ourselves, inside of others, pull out all of this great information, and really just learn how to adapt to it in the best way possible for ourselves and for others. This, in essence, is a very marvelous, marvelous thing. But let's go deeper. Not just superficially as a blanket, but as a whole. Another aspect, because why not? Energy. The end, a plane of thought known only to some as the realm in which there is no more. A place of being that consists of a checkered flag, a handshake, and you guessed it, even more. How can you seek an end without realizing that there will be more? You transcend it. You allow for your mind and your body and your spirit to become more. You train and discipline yourself to understand that no matter what happens to the body, the mind will continue in consciousness. It will continue to flow through the spirit. This is the core matter of energy. See, the understanding that we can't stop is something that kind of perplexes people. That we can't simply be without understanding deeper within our cores that it's necessary for continuity beyond all bounds and planes of existence. This is normally when the inner fire kicks up, begins to bellow, preparing our balloon in an lifestyle that is full of, well, a bit of hot air and motivation. And there's nothing wrong with that. The motivation comes from within, the inner chamber of thought that allows for you to be at your highest potential at all times. Sometimes it takes a bit more than what we think we have. Sometimes it takes a bit more confidence than what we think we have. Sometimes it takes that drive, that essence, that spirit to become at peace with yourself enough to really learn how to turn it up a notch and go forward with your life. Sometimes it feels impossible, and we as individuals have to seek solace within the whole of existence to continue. Of course, again, I speak of Source. As beings of Source, we can do much, much more than what we allow ourselves to feel and think. After all, we're all essences of the universe. We're already connected to the One. Already. It's just a matter of acknowledging and accepting it. This can come in the form of a meditation. It can come in the form of a fancy YouTube video. It can come in the form of quote unquote being woke, or it can just happen. You can simply allow it to happen right now. This isn't to discourage the attunement. This is to more or less point you in the direction that I feel everyone needs to begin to go. This is because we know deep within this reality of thought, this realm of thought, that we are. We simply are and will continue to be for as long as our essence, as our energy continues to flow. And as you know, energy cannot be broken down or destroyed. It can only be altered or transformed. That our powers are limitless and our conscious must live on. It must live on. Now, I'm not here to give you simple plays of facts and figures. You can do that on your own. You can do your own research. These are for people who can't transcend their own realities and realize how much more we really are, who aren't necessarily able yet to tap into their core essence, their understanding of the Akash. Without this simple guiding line fueling our cores, we're indeed at an end of progress. We're stuck. We cherish, embellish, and revel in all things that could potentially grant us this feeling of living without looking first and foremost within. This is secondarily thinking that we are allowed to blossom into a plane of thought that we can only express as a potential, not as a facet of reality, not as our own core growing and expanding all throughout existence, always and forever. Have you heard of this word before? Potential? This word's very easily misplaced. Potential is but a preparation for a grand operation, movement, or gesture. When we express potential, it's more or less we're expressing our potential at its peak. So when we express potential, when we reach the pinnacle of how things are to come to pass, to express potential at its peak, now dip into that and fix it. So let's see. Let's see here. Toggle timetable participants pop out chat. I believe that it might actually be working, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Let's go to live chat. There we are. All messages always visible all the time. Perfect. All right, now, if you are viewing this, please try to comment. That way I know that, it works. In any case, these things, potential, our sources of power, made minuscule by what we invoke into our daily lives and rituals, like simple things, taking out the trash, going to work, all that good stuff. Now, this isn't like to say that it's completely taking away from our power, but when we invoke or involve ourselves into these procedures, so much so that it eats at us and allows us to fall out of alignment with our core, with our essence, with who we wish to be as people, then yeah, they pretty much make our power minuscule, our personal power minuscule. Think about that for a second. Too much of anything can quickly sap you of your power, and thus the Bodhi teaches moderation. This force, in which not only grants us life and liberation from an end, can only stretch as far as we allow it to. When we refuse to take responsibility for our own energies or substance, we are then consciously becoming servants of our own demise. Think clearly on this for a second. Did you really need that unhealthy burger for a workout? Like, really? Did you really need to relive the karma? Here we go. Did you really need to relive the karma of some of your more traumatic experiences to heal or maintain a visage of progress? An image of progress? Do you have to be a pariah? Do you have to put yourself out there, get shunned, shut down, totally annihilated, morally, physically, emotionally, just to feel as if you're on your way to some kind of success? No. All you have to do is think clearly and only for yourself, just for a second, in meditation. Are there things that you work with or utilize in your daily lives that you know within that must be cut? That you know within must be cut. Think about that for a second. Is it your job? Is it your work fare? Is it simply like a bad habit like smoking, drinking, doing drugs? I mean, do you really need to do that? Or is it more or less just something that you feel empowers you, but in reality diminishes your personal power? Are these things not in essence robbing you of your energy and causing major disgust within your core? Are you not sick and tired of being stuck in the same loop over and over and over again? There's no need for list at this point. Any list I could give you is already known. You already know it. It's within. I don't have to call you out or say your name even. I don't even have to look at the comments right now to tell you that you already understand on some level what I'm talking about. And you know in your heart of hearts what you need to do in order to correct that, in order to balance yourself again. There is, however, a valid solution to curbing these, quote, things, and that's total acceptance, not only of the truth within whatever it is you wish to abolish or get rid of, knowledge of a different outcome. Well, yeah, there you go. Knowledge of a different outcome. How's that? You know that things can change, and thus they are able to change. However, there's work involved. Now, I say work instead of floaty concepts because, once again, these are already known. You already know. They exist within the mind and are already working towards breaching. That is to say, that you are already on the path to correcting this imbalance, to reaffirming your knowledge, your beliefs, your faith, your trust in yourself, your confidence, all of these things. They exist within the mind. And any movement of molecules, particles, etc., here we go, back to the subject, all require energy, effort. Therefore, the concept of energy in this matter is too common to be brought over as a means of conveyance. Energy is known to exist. Even though it's to be fully understood or realized, we know that its truth without speaking it, without doing it, we already know its truth in our own specs, in our own way. Now is simply the time to walk a path of understanding how to begin to use this towards your intended goals more fluidly. That, my friends, is where healing comes in. Now, you may hear a term quite commonly, the power is yours. Tell me, where'd you hear that from? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel empowered? How about steadfast, ready for the world, on top of your game? These are all just examples of true power in this statement. True personal power, unbridled fury, all ready to go. Certainly it can encompass a great deal more than simply this. Now, when I say this term, the power is yours, this phrase, the power is yours, many visualizations occur at once. Some people think of a certain captain breaking off its emanations into various colors of light, more or less resembling the chakras, and just kind of creating a beautiful artistic flow that goes back into the world. Another would be a human being standing over a large fire, arms raised high in the air, and stars looming over the night's horizon. The story of Prometheus. One more would be a meditation of quiet and of enlightenment. Again, it's quite a strong statement, very powerful. The implications of this lead towards self sufficiency, reliance on personal power, a need to stick your own hands and your own body into the mud of your own doubts, fears, hardships in order to fully come out of the muck and the mire. This is because with this power that comes within, this energy, we are all capable of great things. That healing can occur and remain for as long as those who wield the energy are willing to channel or use it. It's choice. Now, here's a tricky word. How can one fully manifest all aspects and elements in their lives when it comes to things outside of the realm of their control? How could I have possibly been able to keep that car from hitting me? How could I even think to control my boss or to use energy to aid and assist? There we go. Aid and assist in the process of manipulating a situation that causes you discomfort or disease. The answer's simple, but it's also pretty complex. Choice doesn't reflect all actions or reactions at all times. After all, it wouldn't be a choice. Sometimes it falls victim to continuity and understanding that with what could most easily be referred to as a domino effect, if you're willing to complain about your existence on this particular facet of reality, but your choices reflect the science that brought you to this place of being willing to complain, then this is the choice that you personally have made. Did you not choose to be here for reasons unfathomable to the naked eye? Are you not choosing to watch this feed when you realize that you existed? The very moment that you understood that you were here on this earth, did you not make a choice to take a step, to blink? No, they happened all along their own. And if it did happen in their own, and if it is outside of your control, then why are we upset? Why are we prepared to sit idly by and be all huffy and puffy? Or are you the opposite type who has the serenity, who is prepared to change the things that you can, accept the things that you cannot change, and do your best to know the difference? It's simple. Not one person, not one person can incite complete and utter absence when it comes to their choices. You can't abdicate your choice if you made it. Regardless of how it's made, you made it. Not one of them is made for another. Not one choice is made for another. They're made simply because they must be made. How we choose to justify it is up to us. Even the choice to allow for a choice to be made, completely yours. All you. Especially if it was in your place of control at one point. So let's take a look back. Deep back. Why did you make some of the choices that you made? Why did you go to some of the places that you went to in your mind's eye? And why did you choose person who got hit by a car made his choice to get up in the morning and continue their stride outside the door to work, that was a choice. The other example is quite simple as well. There was an implied need for the job that causes that person to submit to their boss. You made the choice. And so they also chose to be in that space. That was your choice as well. The consequences of these choices may remain unforeseen at the current time, which could confuse and confound some. However, it's still on you. Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is a form of prayer in which you accept total and complete responsibility for all things. All. Not just some, but all. This isn't to, once again, shame or blame. This is to allow for yourself to begin the healing process. Once again, if you choose the healing path, excuse me. Okay. If you choose the healing path, then you understand a few things. You understand now that you are, in essence, on your own healing journey. And thus, you are in need of healing. And if you're in need of healing and you're not willing to accept full responsibility for that, then how are you expecting to heal? The consequences of these choices, like I said, may remain unforeseen. However, that doesn't disguise the blind nature of their choices. They simply could not have known the potential reality that their choices would bring to them. Acceptance, once again. Ho'oponopono. By accepting responsibility, you are not necessarily accepting full out that you are totally responsible for the other guy hitting you. You're just saying that you're responsible for walking out the door, for choosing to go to work, for choosing to go down that particular road, for choosing to take that step. That next glorious or tragic step in your life that's caused the change. Remember this. The power to make a change in your life is always apparent. You always have that opportunity at any given moment in time. Is it always quick and easy? No. However, it does exist if you're willing to take your power back and use it to propel your life in the direction of your choosing. The power is yours. And once you move into a place of healing within your life, all of this becomes more apparent. Now, I'm going to end this with a healing session. And I do so in full love and light with the intention on aiding and assisting anyone and everyone around and watching this feed. A moment of deep reflection and introspection that may cause them a healing experience. I will now bless the space with Hakuyama, and then I will begin. Rambido. 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 Re Som Re Som Re Som I will now begin the flow of Reiki in full love and light for all the purposes and intentions that I have already spoken, as well as those that are unbeknownst to me, directed towards those in need of healing the most. Jokure Seiheki Onshaze Shonen Dai Komyo Jokure Seiheki Onshaze Shonen Dai Komyo Jokure Seiheki Onshaze Shonen Dai Komyo. Okay. Thank you all for joining this feed. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. If you have any interest in learning a healing modality,